welcome back to the channel. Today I thought I should do a Destiny 2 video because a lot of people subscribe for Destiny 2 videos, specifically on builds, but I don't like the game anymore. But however, I've always wanted to try a Devour build on Hunter. Now this isn't perfected and it probably could be refined a little bit more, so make sure you look and change what you want to change. But for me personally, this isn't any one type of build. It involves everything: damage with weapons, grenades, weakening, wells, orbs, you know, just absolutely everything mashed together that kind of works. But like I said, I think I need to just sort out my actual stats just because I don't have enough armor. So you definitely want 100 discipline if you can at the very minimum. And then things like intellect, you know, strength, mobility. I think having them around 80 will probably work out. Maybe not intellect can probably go, but specifically mobility around about 80 to 100 if you can, and discipline 100 if you can. I feel like those are the two most important things because you're going to be dodging a lot, going invisible, and using grenades to do a lot of different things. So weapons, first and foremost, you're going to need a void fast firing weapon, funnel web, subsistence, adrenaline junkie. Adrenaline junkie obviously increases damage, and anything that you do pretty much gives you adrenaline junkie times 5 off the bat. And then subsistence just means you don't have to reload as often. So that is pretty much the only weapon I ever use in any build, but specifically this build as well, because you just want to be murdering people as quick as possible. So let's look at the Night Stalker class. I'm using Mobius Quiver, obviously does a lot of damage. I'm using Gambler's Dodge for melee ability because you want to be able to use your smoke bomb as often as you can, and it gives it weakens enemies as well, so that's really going to help too. And then any grenade you want, I use Vortex because obviously it pulls targets towards it. It's got a bigger AoE and it just feels more comfortable when using this build. So for the aspects, we are using Stylish Executioner, that's hard to say. Defeating a weakened, suppressed, or volatile target grants invisibility and true sight. So your grenades are going to be causing weak with one of the fragments, but also your smoke bomb, snare bomb, if you throw that in, it has weakened, you know, intrinsically involved with that. So you got two very good things here to weaken enemies, which means that Stylish Execution is going to keep you invisible a lot of the time. Then we have Vanishing Step. Dodging makes you invisible because you're going to be doing a lot of invisible, and that's probably the one thing that stands out about this build is invisibility, but everything else is kind of mixed together. So we've got your Void Grenade weakens targets. You lose 20 discipline here, so you really have to work on that discipline. Like I just can't do it myself personally. Picking up an Overpowered grants Devour, so this is what we're going to be looking at in terms of involving Devour. Then we have Void buffs applied to you. Invisibility, Overshield, and Devour have increased duration, so your Devour can go up to 15 seconds, I believe, in total. You're going to be getting that by picking up Orbs of Light, so we have to actually make some. And then I've put on Echo of Instability. Defeating targets with grenades grants volatile rounds to your void weapons. Now, I have found this to be a little bit inconsistent. I know that I'm killing enemies with grenades because of all the other benefits that I get. It just seems like there's a limit on how many things you can have active at one time, and sometimes volatile rounds just doesn't proc, but when it does, you're going to be doing insane damage. So if you want to, you know, change this up a little bit and maybe put on the volatile flow mod and have something else here, that will also work. So yeah, those are the aspects and fragments. Now, for the mods, we have Reaping Wellmaker. After activating your class ability, your next weapon creates a void well. Obviously, you're going to be dodging a lot, going invisible. You're going to be dodging near enemies to get your melee back, so that you can use your melee to weaken enemies, to kill them. So, you know, there's a whole big like cycle of things here that's going to work with each other. Then I've got on Void Siphon and Harmonic Siphon. So rapid weapon, final blows with damage matching your subclass, and with a void weapons creates an orb of power. Now, I found that having just one of these on was a tiny little bit less consistent, but having them both on, it just felt a lot better. Now you can change out one of these however you want. I haven't got any kind of like targeting or like ammo finders or anything, so if you wanted to have that, you can swap one of these out too. And then we have for the arms, Bolstering Detonation grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a grenade, so you can dodge more, you can go invisible when using grenades, and same with melee. Melee is not as important, it's just that I don't feel like there's anything else to put here other than armor mods for unstoppables and other champions alike. So just for the sake of specifically a Void 3.0 build through and through, I won't be focusing Strike, but you can switch that up however you want. Font of Might, picking up an elemental well that matches your subclass energy type, grants a temporary bonus to weapon damage. So you're going to be dropping wells, you're going to be picking them up. If you've got volatile rounds procs, you're also going to be doing more damage because of Font of Might. And then we go to the chest piece. Now, again, totally up to you what you put here. If you want to have reserves and stuff, you can. I just went with thermoshot plating and void resistance, so you have a little bit more resistance to every single damage type other than stasis. Taking charge, become charged with light by picking up an orb of power. Now, because you are trying to create orbs of power in this build to get Devour, this is going to be very important for your damage, and you mix that with the high energy fire. So while charged with light, gain a bonus to weapon damage. Each defeated combatant consumes 1 stack of charge with light. So you're picking up orbs, you're getting charged with light 2, you're doing more weapon damage with volatile rounds, enemies that are weakened, and just every other buff that you get. The void increase when you pick up a well, you're going to be doing a lot of damage very quickly with your funnel web. I also have Absolution, reduces all ability cooldowns when trying to pick up an orb of power. You're going to be looking for orbs, like I said, so you're going to get your grenades back quicker, your melee back quicker, and your dodge back quicker. Again, feel free to change up whatever you feel you need to. And then on the cloak, I have Elemental Ordnance. Defeating a combatant with a grenade spawns an elemental well. You can be leading with grenade as much as possible. This is why you need 100 discipline, because sometimes a grenade doesn't always come back as quick as it should, but when you are getting it back and you're constantly using it, it's quite a ridiculous build. Then we got Distribution, reduces all ability cooldowns when using your class ability near targets. Now you're going to be going near targets to get your melee back, so you're going to be getting all your ability cooldowns as well. Reduces class ability cooldown when using your class ability. So if for some reason you are not near enemies or it doesn't count, you're still going to get a little tiny chunk of class ability back. So with Devour being kind of the thing that I want to put into this build for a hunter, you're going to need Orbs of Light. Now that's created by teammates, but it's also created by yourself for having rapid kills with a Void weapon or any weapon using Void Siphon and Harmonic Siphon. So that is the point you want to get to, getting loads of kills with your weapons to get Orbs of Power, to get Devour. And then with the aspects and fragments that you have, Devour can last up to 15 seconds, which means as you're going through randomly killing everyone, getting as close as possible and messing people up, your Devour is going to keep proccing, you're going to keep your health up. Now you're going to be close to people because you're going to be invisible a lot, and you can need to dodge near people to get your melee back and a lot of your ability cooldowns back, thanks to the other mods that we spoke about. So you really want to be in people's face with this build. However, you need to get to that point where weapons are going to be kind of viable. So you want to lead with a grenade. Now with the aspects that we have and the fragments that we have, when you use a grenade, it will weaken enemies. Then when it kills those enemies, it will grant you invisibility and true sight. It will also proc volatile rounds, so you can do more damage and kill people quicker and they blow up and explode. And it will also generate a well that you can go and pick up to have more damage with your void weapon. You then use that void weapon, create orbs, then you get more damage with your weapon because of the orbs and charge of light and stuff like that. So it's really kind of cyclical to get through and do all of this stuff. So we grenade, we pick up the well, we do damage with the weapon, kills with the weapon, create orbs of light, get more and more damage on our weapons, and then you need to dodge near people to get all your abilities back. And throughout this whole process, you're going to be invisible for a lot of the time. Even if you're invisible for like a split second, it still de-aggroes enemies as soon as you go invisible. So it all works pretty well. You could throw some extra void mods on to, you know, give you extra protection while you're close to enemies or when you've picked up a void elemental well. However, there's not enough space in my opinion. So this is what I would use. Again, you could also change up the exotic for something that you might fit there. I just use the Orpheus Rigs because it does more damage to the Mobius Quiver, and on top of that, you know, there's a whole bunch of orbs that can be made, and just it's just a better way for me to play personally, to use more Mobius Quiver with the extra shot. So if you feel like there's a different exotic you can use, feel free to use that. Also, I just don't really have any good exotic rolls on anything, so I just use my Orpheus Rigs. So let me know what you're thinking down below in the comment section about this build. I doubt I'm really going to be making much Destiny 2 videos from now on, so if that's not something you want to, you know, look at, that's fine. I understand if you want to unsubscribe. I totally get it, but you know, I will be doing other games and other things, and hopefully some Destiny stuff if anything gets good on Destiny. And that's about it. Thank you for watching. I've been easynow. You guys have been awesome.